lived in and around the Palisades for 25 years. This is the street we run down on 5Ks. This is where the fire truck goes on the 4th of July parade. This is a neighborhood.
From dream mansions to ash and rubble, these 20 Hollywood actresses faced heartbreaking losses as the raging LA wildfires swept through their lives. Discover their resilience amidst unimaginable devastation and hope beyond the flames. Number 20, Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore is the voice behind Rapunzel in Tangled and also acts in the drama series This Is Us. But Mandy is not a fairy tale princess or a TV star. She's a real woman who had to go through something really awful when her house burned down. To Mandy, her home was not merely the bricks and mortar of 4 walls. It was where she composed her songs, planned her new projects, and just relaxed with her husband and animals. When the Palisades fire broke out, Mandy felt a lot of sadness. It was crushing to lose her home, as it felt like a part of her was gone, as well as the personal and creative memories that were within her home. Mandy said it was difficult to stay positive at first. She said that she was able to walk through the destroyed buildings and felt like she had lost everything. In the same way as Kobe, Mandy concentrated on the things that actually mattered. Family. She said she felt very lucky that her family and pets were safe because, at the end of the day, those are the things that cannot be replaced. Number 19, Anna Faris. Now, let's talk about Anna Faris. You must have watched her movies. She is funny and always appears happy. However, every comic person has his or her bad day, and for Anna, it was when she lost her home. Anna's house was a comfortable, lovely house in a quiet locality. For her, it was not just a house, it was the place where she brought up her child, where she laughed with her family and friends, and where she sought refuge after the daily grind. When the fire razed through the compound, she lost more than a structure. She lost the only place she could be comfortable with. Anna also shared the suffering of losing not only physical things, but the memories connected with them as well. She said it felt like losing a part of herself and her past, like the pictures, the first drawings of her son, and the memories that made the house a home. She also said she felt afraid and like she couldn't take it, which is accurate because a wildfire isn't just about losing things. It is also about being afraid for your life and the lives of your family. Number 18, Kobe Smulders. You might have seen her as Robin from the TV show How I Met Your Mother. Though the world is not black and white, she is a strong, calm person who can always get through any scenario. For a woman like Kobe, whose house, among the many others, burned and was destroyed during the Palisades fire, it was of great significance. Kobe loved her house. It was more than just a place she rested. It was a place where she could hide from the relentless activities of Hollywood and be with her family. In what felt like just minutes, what she had toiled for was turned into ashes as the fire tore through. Kobe claimed to be stunned and devastated, particularly when she began to consider the memories connected to the residence. Having to tell the kids about it, she exclaimed, was among the toughest part of it all. Tell your brothers, sisters, or cousins that their room, toys, playpen, and even preferred spot for backyard play are no longer there? Well, Kobe said it was challenging, but she assured her family that everyone was fine. That was the most crucial thing. There's another celebrity who went through something just as heartbreaking. Paris Hilton. Let's talk about her experience. Number 17, Paris Hilton. Yeah, let's talk about Paris Hilton. She's not just a socialite and reality TV star. She's almost an entrepreneur and DJ with a huge following. Paris has this glamorous lifestyle that's all about glitter, pink, and luxury. But even someone as fabulous as Paris can't escape the forces of nature. Her house, which she described as her sanctuary, was one of the many destroyed by the fires. Imagine coming home after a long day to find out that everything you've ever collected or cherished is just gone. For Paris, this included her priceless collections like vintage clothes, memorabilia from her career, and probably some items with sentimental value. She mentioned in an interview that it felt like losing a part of herself. Paris isn't the only celebrity dealing with this kind of heartbreak. Anna Faris, the hilarious actress from movies like Scary Movie and the show Mum, had her own emotional experience during the fires. Next up, number 16, Diane Warren. Diane Warren is one of the most successful songwriters of our time. Chances are you have listened to her creations, yet you might not have realized it. Diane has composed for Celine Dion, Lady Gaga, and many other such famous personalities. Her music has helped millions, but her own life was turned upside down when a wildfire ravaged her home. To Diane, her house was more than just a shelter. It was her home studio where songs were composed. Losing it wasn't just about losing walls and a roof. It was like losing a spirit, a soul, or something like that. To her, Diane said that she felt devastated to the core as she moved through the ashes of what she once called home. Her things are gone, along with the memories that she can never replace. Pictures, medals, souvenirs, and other family memories and valuables destroyed. Diane had to agree with the many others that it was difficult not to get mad and frustrated. However, as is usual for the character of Diane, she did not allow the fire to extinguish her fighting spirit. Pretty inspiring, right? Well, Diane's story is only the beginning of what we will hear in this show. The next one is about an industry titan who is disrupting not only industries but also lives. Bossima St. John. Number 15, Bossima St. John. Bossima St. John, or Boz as she's known, is one of the most fascinating and motivating women out there today. She is a chief marketing officer in the world of marketing and has partnered with companies such as Netflix and Apple. However, Boz, who is a successful woman in her career, is not exempted from life's adversities. Fires raged through her neighborhood, and Boz lost her home, which she said was her safe space. To Boz, her house was more than just a house, it was her identity. Each spot had a story to tell, ranging from the paintings on the wall to the moments that she had with her daughter. It's a horrible feeling when all seems to slip out of your hands. Boz said it felt like the fire had taken away some part of who she really was. But instead of staying down, Boz chose to focus on what she could control: reconstruction and the process of starting over. Boz described that she decided to allow herself to feel the sadness at the same time, and she realized that she could start over. The fact is astonishing as to how Boz turned this experience into a positive note of helping out. She is all for raising people up, and when the fire tragedy struck, she focused on empowering people to rise and support the helpless who lost their homes. Boz said that even though she lost her house, she still wanted to make a difference and was stronger than ever. Now, that's something worth thinking about, right? Stay tuned because there's more to uncover. Number 14, Tina Knowles. Tina Knowles, the mastermind behind both Beyoncé and Solange, is not just only a fashion-forward designer and businesswoman. She also has the character of a mother who values her family most of all in the world. Not just homes and properties were burned and destroyed, but homes replete with love and family memories for the mother, Tina Knowles, and her kids. Tina was proud of her house and what she had achieved in order to pay the bills back. That was the home that she built for her daughters, the place where they achieved their accomplishments, and the haven she retreated to at the end of a working week. As it was burnt by fire, she said it was nauseating. Tina said that was not just about losing a structure, but also about losing parts of her life that she could not replace, such as photographs, trinkets from her daughter's childhood, and her beloved creative corners. But here's the thing about Tina: she's resilient. She has been through worse, and this was no exception for her. She agreed with this, but said it was painful and that everyone should remember that family and safety are more important than anything in the world. Tina's words stuck with a lot of people. "We can rebuild things, but we cannot rebuild people," she said. Tina's strength is inspiring, but her story is just the beginning. The next one might surprise you. Number 13, Candy Spelling. Candy Spelling is the wife of the late famous television and movie producer Aaron Spelling and the mother of actress Tori Spelling. However, the wildfires do not spare even Hollywood kings and queens. The fire not only took Candy's home, but she also lost the family history and heritage that was important to her family. Candy's mansion was not an ordinary house and was definitely one of the biggest places any of them had seen. There were souvenirs from Aaron's playing days, mementos and paintings and prints acquired over a lifetime. And this was also a home where Candy entertained her family and friends many times and created so much good memories. It was the same as seeing her history go up in flames within minutes. Candy described the experience as being as if she was in a dream, and the hurting part was that she was never able to see eye to eye with her son at the time. She used to consider her home as a safety zone where everything evil could not reach her. But when she saw the ashes, she understood how easily everything could be reduced to ashes. Surprisingly, there was Candy, and she was thinking positively all the time. All was well, she said. She thanked her stars that her family was unharmed and no one was seriously injured. Number 12, Melissa Claire Egan. If you've ever watched The Young and the Restless, you'll know Melissa Claire Egan as Chelsea Lawson. But beyond her on-screen drama, Melissa faced something no one should ever go through in real life, losing her home in a wildfire. Melissa's house wasn't just a place to sleep. It was her safe space, her retreat from the hustle and bustle of Hollywood. It was where she laughed with her friends, cooked with her husband, and enjoyed quiet moments with her pets. So, when the fire swept through and destroyed everything, it left her completely heartbroken. Melissa opened up about how surreal it felt to see the place where she loved reduced to simply ashes. She talked about the sadness of losing personal treasures like photos, keepsakes, and even her favorite cozy spots in the house. "It feels like losing a piece of yourself," she said in an emotional interview. But Melissa isn't just about dwelling on the sadness. No, she's all about finding the silver lining. She said the experience taught her what truly matters: her family, her health, and the safety of her loved ones. Melissa also was super grateful for the firefighters and first responders who risked their lives to save others. Melissa has used her voice to support wildfire victims and spread awareness about staying prepared. She's turned her personal loss into a way to help others, which is seriously inspiring. Speaking of inspiring, the next story is about Denise Crosby, and trust me, it'll leave you just as moved. Number 11, Denise Crosby. Denise Crosby, famous for her role as Tasha Yar on Star Trek: The Next Generation, is no stranger to challenges. But nothing could have prepared her for the devastation of losing her home in a wildfire. For Denise, her house was more than just a building. It was a place filled with memories and reminders of her journey in life and career. It was where she worked on her craft, spent time with her family, and found peace after long days. When the fire took it all away, Denise described feeling a mix of shock, sadness, and disbelief. But here's the thing about Denise: she's tough. She talked about how important it was to focus on what she still had: her loved ones, her health, and the support of her friends and fans. Denise also became an advocate for helping wildfire victims and raising awareness about the impact of these disasters on families. She said the experience changed her perspective on life, teaching her to let go of material things and appreciate the people who truly matter. Denise's resilience is a reminder that even in the face of destruction, there's always a way to rebuild. Number 10, Melissa Rivers. Melissa Rivers, known as the daughter of the iconic comedian Joan Rivers, is an accomplished TV personality herself. Melissa faced a devastating loss when a wildfire burned her home to the ground. Her house wasn't just a place to live, it was a treasure chest of memories and a connection to her late mother. Inside Melissa's home were family photos, heirlooms, and sentimental items that held deep meaning. Losing these weren't just about losing things. Each of them carried a piece of her story, her family's history, and the legacy of her mother. When the fire swept through and left only ashes behind, Melissa said it felt like losing a part of herself. The home was also a safe haven for her son, Cooper, where they shared countless moments of laughter, comfort, and love. Seeing it all gone was heartbreaking. But even in the face of such loss, Melissa focused on what mattered the most, her family's safety. Melissa expressed immense gratitude that no one was hurt and that she and Cooper could move forward together. Melissa didn't let the tragedy stop her from turning her experience into something positive. She used her platform to raise awareness about wildfire safety, supporting victims, and advocating for better disaster preparedness. Melissa's story is a reminder that even when you lose so much, it's possible to find strength and purpose in helping others. Now let's move on to Barbara Cochran's story. It's just as incredible and might surprise you even more. Number 9, Barbara Cochran. Barbara Cochran, the fearless entrepreneur and Shark Tank star, is no stranger to challenges. She built her fortune in real estate, turning nothing into something. But when the fire destroyed her home, it was a loss unlike anything she had ever faced before. Barbara's house was her retreat, a place where she could relax and recharge. It wasn't just a fancy property. It was a reflection of her journey and success. Filled with family memories, personal treasures, and symbols of her achievements, it was a space that truly felt like her own. When the fire reduced it all to ashes, Barbara was devastated. Walking through the rubble, she described feeling a mix of sadness, shock, and disbelief. Barbara had spent years building her life and creating a home that she loved, and in just a few hours, it was all gone. The loss of sentimental items, like family photos and keepsakes, were especially hard for her to bear. But Barbara is known for her resilience, and this experience was no different. Instead of dwelling on what she had lost, she focused on what she still had, her loved ones, and the strength to start over. Barbara talked about how this tragedy reminded her of what truly matters the most, not the material things, but the people and relationships that bring meaning to life. Barbara also became an advocate for wildfire preparedness, using her influence to support and rebuild efforts and helping other families affected by similar disasters. Barbara showed that even in the moments of devastation, there's an opportunity to rise, rebuild, and make a difference. Number 8, Emily Proctor. Emily Proctor, best known for her role as Calais Duquesne on CSI Miami, experienced a life-changing event when a wildfire destroyed her home. For Emily, her house wasn't just a beautiful place, it was her sanctuary. It was where she could escape the pressures of Hollywood, spend time with loved ones, and simply recharge. When the fire swept through, Emily lost not only her home, but also everything inside. Family photos, cherished keepsakes, and personal treasures were all gone in an instant. The emotional weight of losing those irreplaceable items hit her hard. Emily described feeling overwhelmed, not just by the physical loss, but by the memories tied to the things that she could never get back. Despite the heartbreak, Emily found a way to stay strong. She focused on the fact that she and her loved ones were safe, which she saw as the most important thing. She also expressed deep gratitude for the firefighters and first responders who risked their lives to help others during the disaster. Emily used her experience to raise awareness about wildfire preparedness, urging others to have plans in place and to support those affected by such tragedies. Her resilience and determination to turn loss into a way to help others is nothing short of inspiring. But Emily's story isn't the only one that'll move you. Let's talk about Ricky Lake, whose experience with losing her home is simply heartbreaking, and her response might surprise you. Number 7, Ricky Lake. Ricky Lake, a well-loved actress and talk show host, also faced the unimaginable when her home was destroyed by the fire. For Ricky, her house was more than just a place to live. It was a cozy retreat filled with love, laughter, and memories. When the wildfire engulfed her home, Ricky was left with nothing but the clothes she was wearing. She lost all her belongings, including sentimental items that held deep personal meaning for her. The loss was devastating, and Ricky described feeling completely heartbroken as she processed the reality of what had happened. But even in the face of such a huge loss, Ricky found ways to move forward. She spoke about how the experience gave her a new perspective on life, helping her realize that material things can be replaced, but people and relationships, they're what truly matter. Ricky also became an advocate for fire safety and disaster relief, using her platform to encourage others to support victims and stay prepared for emergencies. Her strength and ability to focus on rebuilding, both physically and emotionally, have inspired countless others who've faced similar challenges. Number 6, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Jennifer Love Hewitt, who you probably know from Ghost Whisperer or I Know What You Did Last Summer, had her world turned upside down when her home was destroyed by a wildfire. For Jennifer, her house wasn't just a place to live. It was where her family created memories, shared laughs, and found comfort after long days. When the fire swept through her neighborhood, Jennifer had little time to act. She and her family managed to get out safely, but they had to leave almost everything behind. Watching her home go up in flames was one of the hardest things she's ever experienced. Jennifer described feeling helpless and heartbroken, knowing that years of memories were being lost in an instant. Jennifer's home had been filled with personal treasures too, photos of her kids, sentimental gifts, and keepsakes from her years in Hollywood. Losing these irreplaceable items hit her deeply. But Jennifer found strength in her family. She focused on the fact that everyone she loved was safe, and that gave her hope, even in such a dark time. After the fire, Jennifer used her platform to raise awareness about wildfire relief efforts. She encouraged her fans to support those who had lost everything and spoke about the importance of helping each other during tough times like these. Her ability to stay positive and give back, even after such a personal loss, is truly inspiring. Jennifer's story is moving, but it's not the only one. Let's talk about Whitney Cummings, whose journey through a similar loss might surprise you even more. Number 5, Whitney Cummings. Whitney Cummings, the comedian and creator of the hit show Two Broke Girls, is known for making people laugh. But when a wildfire destroyed her home, she found herself in a situation that was anything but funny. Whitney's house was her sanctuary, a place where she could relax and recharge after long days on the road. It was filled with memories, personal items, and the little things that made it feel completely and uniquely hers. When the fire tore through, Whitney lost all of that in a matter of hours. The loss was devastating. Whitney admitted that it was hard to wrap her head around the reality of having nothing left. But, true to her nature, Whitney managed to find humor even in the darkest moments. She joked about how she'd always wanted to redecorate anyways, and now she had the perfect excuse. Whitney's humor became a coping mechanism, helping her process the loss and move forward. Even though she made jokes, Whitney didn't shy away from the seriousness of the situation. She talked about how losing her home reminded her of what really matters, the people and relationships in her life. The fire showed Whitney that, while material things can be replaced, the love and support of friends and families are what truly count. Whitney also became an advocate for fire safety and emergency preparedness. She used her platform to share her experience and encourage others to take steps to protect themselves and their homes. Whitney's ability to turn a personal tragedy into a way to help others is a testament to her strength and resilience. Number 4, Alabama Barker. Alabama Barker, the teenage daughter of Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker and model Shanna Moakler, may be young, but she's already been through a lot. When her family home was destroyed by a wildfire, Alabama had to face a level of loss that was hard to imagine at any age. For Alabama, her home was more than just a house. It was a place where she created TikToks, made memories with her friends, and spent time with her family. Losing it felt like her world had been turned upside down. Seeing the flames consume everything she loved was both shocking and heartbreaking. One of the hardest parts for Alabama was losing her personal items, like her clothes, photos, and mementos from her childhood. These were things that couldn't be replaced, and the loss hit her deeply. But despite the sadness, Alabama found a way to stay strong. She turned to social media to share her experience, not for sympathy, but to spread awareness about how destructive wildfires can be. Alabama's followers saw a young woman who was determined to focus on the positives, even in the middle of a tragedy. Alabama also used her platform to encourage others to support wildfire victims and donate to relief efforts. Number 3, Stephanie Pratt. Stephanie Pratt, best known for The Hills, went through something she never expected when her home was destroyed by a wildfire. Her house wasn't just a place to live. It was where she felt safe, surrounded by the things that mattered the most to her. When the fire came, Stephanie barely had time to leave. She was able to get out safely, though, but her home and everything inside, it was completely destroyed. Stephanie lost personal belongings that had meaning to her, like photos, keepsakes, and things that she had worked so hard to earn. After the fire, Stephanie opened up about how hard it was to process everything. She said she felt a mix of sadness and shock, knowing that the place that she had called home was gone. But even though it was a painful experience, Stephanie focused on what mattered the most, her safety and the support of her loved ones. Stephanie also used her platform to help others. She spoke about the wildfire relief efforts and encouraged people to donate to organizations helping victims rebuild their lives. Stephanie's story is one of resilience and finding purpose even in difficult moments. And Jennifer Gray's story next is just as powerful and might even surprise you more. Number 2, Jennifer Gray. Jennifer Gray, the actress who became famous for Dirty Dancing, also lost her home in a wildfire. Her house was a special place where she could relax and spend time away from the spotlight. It was filled with memories from her career and personal life, things that held a lot of meaning for her. When the fire destroyed her home, Jennifer was left with nothing but the clothes that she had when she evacuated. She lost family heirlooms, career mementos, and everything that had made her house feel like hers. The pain of losing these things was overwhelming, but Jennifer found a way to stay strong. Jennifer talked about how the experience made her think differently about what really mattered. While the loss was hard, she realized that her relationships and memories couldn't be taken away. Jennifer said that knowing her family was safe helped her focus on moving forward. Like Stephanie, Jennifer used her experience to help others. She became involved in wildfire awareness campaigns, sharing her story to encourage people to prepare for emergencies and support those in need. Jennifer's ability to turn such a heartbreaking event into a way to help others shows how strong and compassionate she really is. Number 1, Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers wasn't just known for her humor and sharp wit. She was a style icon with a one-of-a-kind personality. Well, her home reflected that, and it wasn't just a house, it was a treasure trove of her incredible life and career. From rare antiques to personal mementos, Joan's home was packed with things that told her story. When a wildfire tore through her neighborhood, well, Joan's house was completely destroyed. She lost countless keepsakes from her career, including items tied to some of her most iconic moments in comedy and television. For someone as sentimental as Joan, It wasn't just about the financial loss, it was about losing pieces of her history that could never be replaced. Joan spoke openly about how painful it was to see everything she had worked so hard for disappear so quickly. Her home was a place of comfort and creativity where she could relax and recharge after her busy days. And losing it all, well, it felt like losing a piece of herself. But in true Joan Rivers fashion, she didn't let the tragedy keep her down for long. She was known for her resilience and humor, and leaned on those strengths to overcome this tough time. Joan used her platform to talk about supporting those affected by wildfires and finding ways to rebuild, even when it feels impossible. Joan's experience was heartbreaking, but her ability to keep moving forward is inspiring many people. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Hit the notification bell now so you never miss an update. See you next time.